This is a short video to talk about how to calculate depreciation, and we're going to go through an example using Escobar Company. Escobar Company is purchasing 3 different machines, and with each machine they're using a different depreciation method. So we want to take a look at all 3 different methods calculating the depreciation for 2008 using each different method. So we're going to be looking at the depreciation expense and the accumulated depreciation for 2008 using each method. So for machine number 1, we're going to be looking at straight line. And with this machine that was purchased at $86,000, it's expected to have a salvage value of $6,000 and a useful life of 10 years. So we've got all of our information set up for our problem. So the first thing that we need to do is find out the depreciable cost of this machine. So to do that, we want to subtract our salvage value from our cost of our machine, and that gives us our depreciable cost. Now from our depreciable cost, what we want to do is then divide by our useful life in order to come up with our depreciation expense in straight line. So we're going to take our depreciable cost and divide by our useful life. And in this case, just to be able to calculate this correctly in Excel, since we're going to want to be able to drag this down, we need to make both of these absolute references. And if we make both of these absolute references, then we can then copy this formula down to these other 4 cells. Okay, and then for our asset costs, we want to go ahead and just put in our 86,000 here, and that's what we're going to start with. And then our accumulated depreciation is going to start out being our $8,000 in the first year, and it's going to add from there. So this second year, we're just going to be subtracting our 86 minus our 8, and here we're going to be adding our 8,000 plus our 8. And you can pretty much just copy down after you get the second line completed. So for 2008, to answer the question in the problem, our accumulated depreciation is $32,000, and each year we have $8,000 worth of depreciation. So that is machine number 1. Machine number 2 is asking us about double declining balance. Now to find our double declining balance, it is calculating depreciation by calculating a rate of depreciation. So in order to find that, what we want to do is to get the percentage, and to get the percentage we are going to calculate by doing 1 divided by the number of years. So if you do 1 divided by the number of years in the useful life, that's going to give you a percentage. And then what we want to do is double that percentage. So whatever percentage you get, we're going to multiply that by 2, and that gives us the rate that we're going to use in order to calculate. So we want to go ahead and put that rate in to our little chart here, and I'm going to again make that an absolute reference so I can copy that all the way down in my little chart. And the rest of this, I've kind of given you a little guide here on how to fill this in. Sometimes it gets a little confusing. So for 2006, we want to put in our original cost here, which was our $100,000. And then we want to, in column C here, multiply A times B. So we're going to do our 100,000 times 25% to figure out how much depreciation in the first year. And then of course to get our accumulated, that's just going to be 25,000 in the first year. Now in the second year, we need to find out our book value, or how much is remaining to be depreciated. So we're going to do our 100,000, subtract out the amount of depreciation we've already calculated. So that's going to be our A minus our C up here. You can kind of follow along with these letters I've added in here. And then again, we're going to multiply. So this is going to be our 75 times our 25%. And then here we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to do equals and our 18 plus our 25 to get our accumulated. And now you should be able to copy down to the other cells here. And that completes our little chart. And our accumulated depreciation in 2008 was 57,813, and our depreciation in year 8 was $14,063. Our final method is the units of activity method, and the units of activity method is concerned with the number of units a machine can produce, or maybe the number of miles a car can drive, but it's going to calculate depreciation not by the years something is going to last, but by how much it will produce or how long it will be driven or something along those lines. So what we want to do here is take the salvage value from the cost to get our depreciable value, and then instead of dividing by the number of years, we're going to divide by the total number of units expected to be produced by this machine. So in this case, we are going to take our 78 and subtract our 4,000, and then we are going to divide by our 24,000. So that tells us that we are going to be depreciating this asset by $3.08 per hour. The problem then tells us that in 2007 this asset was used for 1,000 hours, and in 2008 this asset was used for 4,500 hours. So, I'm sorry, I'm off one. Let's move these over. Off one cell here. Okay, so this is 78,000. It's off just one little thing here. So our depreciation expense is going to be our $3.08 times our 1,000 hours, and our accumulated depreciation is going to be the same, 3,080. And then our assets new depreciable base is going to be our 78,000 minus our depreciation we've already accounted for, and then our new depreciation is going to be our $3.08 times our 45, and our accumulated depreciation will be our 13 plus our 3. So in 2008 our accumulated depreciation would be 16 and our depreciation would be 13. And that's pretty much it for how to do this problem. So that's it for units of activity, double declining balance, and straight line method using this example.